distancing. I think using a mask will be very crucial for next couple of months, because it's very difficult to get the cases down to zero all of a sudden. It takes time for the disease to the curve to flatten and disease to totally disappear or to control. So we need to maintain social distancing. Frequent hand washing will be must. It's also important not to crowd any places, take proper appointment, and as doctors we may have to limit our appointment and space our appointments. Our waiting room have to be changed slightly so that there's enough space for social distancing.
All right, well, we have our first caller, Sandeep, calling from New Delhi. Go ahead with your question, Sandeep.
Yeah, very good morning. My question is that plasma therapy is making people come back from the ICU, from the ventilators. Why can't we have a buffer zone of the plasma? It can be stored under 30 degrees Celsius for a year. That please have a specialist who can tell how can we store a plasma. It is a safe. I request ICMR to please give permission to all the good hospitals that they conduct, because they are saving lives. I request Mr. Harshvardhan, Dr. Harshvardhan, the Honorable...
All right, well, let's take your view to our doctors. And Dr. Indorkar, even now, while there has been seen some amount of success with plasma therapy, it's still very early days, isn't it? Wouldn't you say?
Right. You're absolutely right. Plasma therapy has been used and kept reserved only for seriously ill patients who are probably not responding to all possible treatment, and it is still in experimental basis. I agree with the question, and the answer would be, I think we should keep plasma therapy reserved for very serious patients, and as per ICMR guidelines, as per the government directives, it should be used properly.
All right, Dr. Shetty?
Yes, I totally agree, although we are all excited, as just like the caller, that we are excited about therapy, but it's still in very early stage of its innovation or discovery. So right now it is only experimental and is done as a part of trial. Hence it has to be reserved for sickest of the sick right now. Once we have a good data and once we realize that it works, then it could be used for even lesser sicker patient. Right now it is strictly conducted under ICMR guidance as a part of a trial. So till the results are out, we cannot probably use it for everybody. And the indications are also set. They are all given by ICMR, so we need to follow it. One good part is, if the plasma therapy works, then we are almost sure there's some sort of immune response which body can host and which can probably prevent the disease, and that could be a big step for developing vaccine also. The understanding of the disease itself becomes better if the plasma therapy is successful.
All right, we have another caller, Ijaz from Vizag. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, with this ongoing pandemic, we are not supposed to step out of our house, but I have a long pending surgery that I need to undergo. So the lockdown doesn't seem to get lifted in the near future. Like, I mean, is it advised to go for a open surgery in this pandemic? And if at all I have to go, what are the precautions I need to take? Like, is it advisable on the first hand?
All right, Dr. Shetty?
Yeah, I think we need to know about surgery. Right now, see, in the first phase of lockdown, we were only doing emergency surgeries. That included heart surgeries or appendix or, something which was really life-threatening. In the stage 2 now, we are also doing what we call a semi-elective surgery. That means the cancer surgeries where chemotherapy is given, or people who can't really wait beyond a month. We are doing such surgeries right now. But if the surgery is truly elective, so we need to know nature of the surgery, what we are dealing with. If it's truly elective, I would advise that it's better to postpone at least for 1 more month, because there is also data, if the person by chance is asymptomatic, and imagine he has COVID with him, or the coronavirus, and is asymptomatic, such people do very bad following elective surgery. The death rate or mortality could actually go up to 20%. So it's not just risk to everybody else, it's even risk to them. So I would advise, if the surgery is truly elective, better to postpone it for at least a month, maybe more, as we realize that your zone is actually a green zone where you hardly have any cases, then you could go ahead with the surgery.
All right, interesting. So you'd say wait even another month to do any sort of elective surgery. We have a caller, Huma from Indore. Huma ji, प्रश्न पूछिए.
अगर किसी को कोरोना है तो थ्रू आउट एक ही सिम्टम रहे, ऐसा पॉसिबल है क्या, या टाइम के साथ सिम्टम्स बढ़ते जाएंगे?
All right, Dr. Indurkar, the symptoms of coronavirus have also, we're now hearing of more and more symptoms. New symptoms have been added to the disease, and yes, so I think Huma was asking whether it's just one symptom throughout.
हुमा, आपका सवाल है कि कोरोना होने के बाद आपको क्या लक्षण या सिम्टम होंगे. जैसे हम कोरोना के बारे में ज़्यादा जानकारी ले रहे हैं, समझ रहे हैं, ऐसा नज़रअंदाज हो रहा है कि कोरोना कैन कम विद एब्सोल्युटली नो सिम्टम्स, यानी कोई शिकायत कोरोना के रुग्ण को नहीं होती है एक तरफ, या ये शुरू हो सकती है सिर्फ छींक से, स्मेल का पावर कम हो जाता है, सर दर्द होता है, बुखार आता है, और दूसरी तरफ ये पेशेंट सीरियस बन के हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट भी हो सकता है. आपने जो पूछा है कि एक ही लक्षण से रुग्ण आ सकता है क्या, ये कहना हाँ भी है ना भी है, क्योंकि कई बार कोई भी बीमारी में हर रुग्ण को सभी लक्षण चाहिए ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है.
All right, so I think we would have wanted to know what particular symptoms she was actually talking about, and now even a loss of taste is being talked about as one of the symptoms. We have another caller from Srinagar, Arshad. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Morning.
I want to know what precautions we should be following while purchasing the fruits, particularly in the Ramadan, and using those fruits for, breaking fasts and taking the fruits as raw, serving the fruits for the family, because the surface transmission is the, that factor comes to my mind when we use those fruits from the market and serving them as such for the family, sir.
All right, Dr. Shetty.
Yeah, I think the fruit, when you're using a fruit, it needs to be cleaned well. And if a fruit could be kept for a day outside, and if you could dry it, it makes it very safe. Any fruit which can be peeled or which can be peeled, these are good fruit. They can actually be, then there is no much harm. So it's very important to clean it well. You can't be using soap and water on fruit, so that's very difficult to handle. So wash it with, rinse it with water, wash it with clean water. If possible, dry it for some time and then use your fruit.
All right, we have another caller, this time from Chennai, Satish calling in. Go ahead with your question, Satish.
Good morning. My question is regarding vaccine. Now they found there are so many strains of coronavirus there. And among that, only few strains is found to be lethal, dangerous. Now, how the vaccine will be possible in this situation?
All right, that's I think a question on many people's minds. But Dr. Indurkar, this talk of different strains, it's a different strain in Gujarat, we're told, different strain in Indore, then we're told, no, this is not correct, there is only one strain. So still, a lot of doubts, and we need all these studies to be peer reviewed. And yes, this issue I've also heard about, the fact that, the vaccine may have to keep, changing, and whether how effective the vaccine would be.
Yeah, I would give an example of influenza vaccine which is given across the globe. So every year at a particular time of year, before the vaccine is prepared, they look for the strains which are more prevalent in that time and that place, and then they, depending on strain, they prepare the vaccine. So probably COVID vaccine, the news is at half. So by the time vaccine is prepared in every region of the world, every part of world, probably it would be decided on the prevalent and virulent strain in that particular area, and this vaccine may change every year as the strain affecting the population is going to change year-wise.
All right, and Dr. Shetty, this talk of different strains of the virus, what can you tell us?
Yes, almost all viruses mutate, and that is the basic property of viruses. So the strains would change, and there are at least 30 strains which are available, and 10 of them are common all over the globe. But now, as you rightly pointed out, in India we believe there is a one dominant strain. Because the thing about dominant strains are they spread much faster and they are more communicable, hence more and more people at the end of it would, usually it is one strain which comes out in a particular geographic area, but this is a changing subject, and we need to isolate isolate and keep studying to understand how exactly the virus is changing. And just to answer the question on vaccine, I totally agree with the doctor that the different strain, different vaccine could be available for different time. But sometimes, if we are lucky, it's also possible to have one single vaccine which is directed against the core region of the virus. You know, although virus mutates, 99.2% of the virus genome is same. It's only the mutation is at 0.8%. You know, it's a small change. Okay. It's still coronavirus, it's still COVID. So sometime if you're lucky, you could be able to target that one region which is not changing. It's the other region which is changing. So if you're lucky, you could have one vaccine which is enough for all the strains. But it's also possible that we may have to change, like flu vaccine, we may have to do different vaccines every year.
All right, and doctors, I also want to ask you about this new drug everyone's that we're talking about, remdesivir, and about, you know, how they're a bit hopeful now. It's in the phase 3, I think, of the trials, and they're very hopeful regarding it. Though I just we were carrying a statement from Dr. Fauci, who's leading the task force in the US, and he said so it's not a knockout drug. It hasn't been found to be 100% effective, but 31% improvement has been seen. If you could explain that to us, Dr. Shetty.
Yes, I think it's again quite interesting. That drug was an Ebola drug, and it was used against Ebola, and it was quite successful against Ebola. So people are excited. So as we started with you know, COVID-19 or Corona virus 19, we did not have much options. So we started with lots of drugs which are available for many other diseases. Some of them proved to be effective, some of them not. So this drug, what we are referring to, also is in a phase of clinical trial right now. As we are into around 4 to 5 months into this pandemic, it's one of the promising therapy which are available. And phase 3 trial is good because phase 3, it's not just safety, it's also trial of efficacy. And you already read out Dr. Fauci's statement where it has shown around 31% reduction of the symptoms are in benefit. So we are all excited, but we need to still probably wait for some more time to understand the real effect.
All right, and Dr. Indurkar, anything you'd like to add? And like, should we get, is this something to get very excited about, very optimistic about, or just still be very, very cautious and await, you know, the final word?
I would like to not talk about remdesivir, but I would like to talk about hydroxychloroquine.
All right.
Which has been widely used and indicated and recommended by ICMR for prophylaxis and treatment of COVID-19 in India. But I think we have to follow the ICMR guidelines and stick to it, and we must use hydroxychloroquine in these patients with the recommended therapy doses.
All right, and especially at a time when we've heard the US president in the past call it this, you know, knockout drug and this amazing drug for coronavirus. So you're again sounding a word of caution and saying, talking about how it needs to be taken under very strict guidelines, because there are a lot of side effects as well.
Hydroxychloroquine is widely used in India and world for rheumatoid arthritis, and in India since 2014 for diabetes mellitus. Broadly, it is well tolerated, well accepted. There are only 2 issues which I would like to suggest, that all elderly patients should take a physician's opinion, do their electrocardiogram or ECG before they begin hydroxychloroquine, check eyes for retinopathy, and then only under medical supervision they should take it, which is tolerated very well. And probably at this point of COVID pandemic, I think that is the only drug which is widely used, widely available, and economically placed in Indian scenario.
All right, well, thank you so much for that, Doctor. Time for us to slip into a short break. We have many callers waiting, so do continue calling in and asking all your questions. The number on your screens there. Will be back after this short break.